What's up, guys? It's Brad from over at Gomotional.com, and right now we're going to go over yet another class setup that we recommend using. This one is going to be for yet another assault rifle. The one we're going to choose to use is the SWAT-556. This is a very, very powerful weapon, guys. I mean, in most cases, if you're up close to medium range, it can take out enemies in 1 to 2 shots. At a distance, it's at 2 to 4 at max. It's very, very strong, very, very accurate. It's a great weapon for medium to long distance maps, or for someone who just likes to sit back on the back perimeters of maps and get kills and such. For the attachments that we recommend for this, recommend using a target finder. I know a lot of people bitch and complain about this, but it's really a really great attachment to have for this weapon. It makes it easier to find your enemies, and even when they're running cold-blooded and the actual target finder diamond doesn't pop up, it still makes it a lot easier to aim down the sights. So it's just an overall pretty good scope to use for this gun. And then we're also going to take the extended clip. Most of the time, extended clip, fast mags, they're kind of like things that you can swap in and out on each other because they pretty much do the same thing. Extended clip just gives you a few extra shots, whereas fast mag just makes it where you can reload faster. I prefer using extended clip just because you get a few extra shots, which means you can take out a few more enemies within the same clip. So I like using that a lot. For your secondary, I usually recommend using the B23R, just because you're mainly meant to be at a distance or at least medium range anyway. So if someone comes up on you, the B23R is pretty good for just swapping to really quickly to pop off a few shots to get them. It's a strong pistol, so it gets a kill pretty quickly. For your perks, we kind of want to make this like a stealth-like class, so we're going to go with Ghost. And then also, you could either use cold-blooded or hardwired. Sometimes I like using cold-blooded because a lot of other people do use target finders, so that can be useful. But for this particular class, we're going to go with hardwired just because I hate getting affected by counter UAVs. I like to keep eyes on my enemies, and plus those EMP grenades and stuff, they're really annoying. So this kind of like helps with that too. For your perk 3, you can either go with Dead Silence or Tactical Mask. Dead Silence is kind of not useful if you're just going to camp out in the back, but if you plan on moving around a lot, I recommend using it. But I'm just going to throw Tac Mask on, just so you can get a feel for not having to worry about flashbangs and concussions and such. For your lethal, I usually recommend using a Bouncing Betty for this class, just because you want to kind of toss it out. Like if you're in a camp or something, you want to put it out somewhere where enemy foot traffic's going to come through and you're not always going to see it. Bouncing Betty, if anything, it at least alerts you to their presence. When it pops up, it does that little spinning noise, helps you to realize they're there, and it also takes down their shields just a little bit, even if they dodge it a little bit. For your tacticals, we're going to go with the EMP grenades. I love using EMP grenades because they take out just about anything. They can take out enemy score streaks like AGRs and sentry guns, or they can take out other stuff like C4, Claymores, Bouncing Betties, shock charges, and stuff like that. So it's very, very useful to run around with that. And that's pretty much it for this class. For your score streaks, I usually recommend using the UAV, counter UAV, and you can either use something like a lightning strike or try to go for something bigger like an orbital VSAT. I like to keep eyes on enemies a lot, so I usually use the orbital VSAT as my tier 3. So usually I go UAV, counter UAV, orbital VSAT. That's my favorite setup for this particular class. It's a really, really good class for team deathmatch and stuff on bigger maps. Sometimes it can be useful on objective-based games. It just depends on what kind of player you are. If you're an aggressive player, don't bother. This class is not meant for an aggressive player. This is really meant for someone who likes to sit back and pick off people from a distance without them realizing and stuff like that. So if that's you, this is perfect. If that's not you, try to go for one of the more aggressive classes. And that's it for this one, guys. Cheers.